Okay, look. I'm going to be honest with you. You got to cut out that mythical idea of balance, this perfectly optimized super performance, high efficiency where all things work together seamlessly. That place not only doesn't exist, but when you fight for this perfection, what you're actually doing is saying, I have a whole lot of fear, anxiety, and insecurity. Yeah, let's talk about it. Welcome to the Yellow Chair Podcast with X, where we deep dive into the stories that drive our lives. I've learned something. There is no perfect optimization or any perfect performance plan or anything of such. It's really just a compromise. Life is about understanding this messy middle of compromise. And when you understand that part of life and stop looking for this mythical balance and this perfect optimization, you will find yourself in this perfect, enviable position because life becomes easy. Life becomes something that you actually enjoy and look forward to because you're not trying to manipulate it into some pristine small box that you can own and master, right? Perfect optimization, perfect performance, perfectly trying to put the puzzle pieces into play. And basically what that is code word for is fear. Fear that you can't control everything. Fear that the target of perfect puts you in a position where you don't have to come out and be imperfectly seen. Fear that unless you're 100% optimized in this thing or efficient, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. Like, these are all the boxes we check, I think, when we don't understand that there isn't a perfect, there isn't this place of mythical balance and optimization. Everything is a compromise. Everything is a trade. Everything is about finding this duality of like a top where you turn it and you twist it, right? You spin a top, and because of the force of it moving, it balances itself. But as soon as the speed slows down, it starts to wobble all over the place, right? Wobble and starts to fall down. And that's the thing that we focus on, the wobbling. But the funny thing is, all you have to do is speed it up, mix it up, get stuff in motion, and it all seems to work out. But when you focus on one side of the equation, trying to optimize and be perfectly systemized and efficient in any key area, it all comes tumbling down because you have to slow down. And you put this false notion on top of life. And I'll give you an example. Performance versus longevity. Everybody wants to be a peak performer, and then everybody also wants to focus on longevity. But these are two polar opposite principles, right? Polar opposite principles. Okay, I want to build my business and be a billionaire, and I want to have family work, These are polar opposite ideas. I want happiness and fulfillment and achievement. Yeah, I don't know. Do those things go together? So we sit in our cubicle and we try to work out this perfectly balanced plan where we're optimized in both of these key areas. And guess what? It doesn't exist. They are polar opposites. So what the successful person does is look at these two seemingly contradictory ideas and we say, okay, there's a place where I can do and it's going to be imperfect. I'm trying to do two things that don't match, but that's okay. I'm going to do it imperfectly. I'm going to spin the top, keep it in motion, and these things are going to work out like oil and water mixing in a bottle. I'm shaking it up, and they mix just fine. But the moment I let it settle, and the moment I stop moving, the moment I start to try to become perfectly in tune to each of these key areas as if they are co-equal branches of government and require the same amount of attention, and the oil and water separates, and it's a hot damn mess. The top stops spinning and it falls down. The point I'm trying to make is that optimization, efficiency is a trap, right? We try to scale something that we haven't even sold yet. We're trying to make something better yet that we haven't even put into our life, and it may work at the most smallest of levels. We become entrapped and ensnared in this idea of perfection. I see it everywhere. I have clients who are so concerned with their image and and how they look and what they do, that they don't put out content, they don't brand themselves, they don't share their story. They're stuck in paralysis of analysis, and they allow themselves to believe that this inch of perfection that they're fighting for is going to move them a mile down the road. It's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. They're fighting for an inch and taking so long to do it that they're a mile behind the pack. The point I'm trying to make here is that everything is a compromise. And I believe that that's one of the secrets I have in my life, is that I don't take any particular thing too seriously. I give it, its attention. I weigh it, I measure it, I put it into the context and the nuance of what's actually going on in my life, and I make a decision and I move. And I think if I'm, being honest about it right here, I think what allows me to do that, if I'm trying to get into my own psyche here a bit, is that I have confidence that wherever the domino falls, I'll be able to deal with. When the top stops turning 100 miles an hour and starts slowing down, or the oil and the water start separating, I'll be in a position, I'll be able to shake it back up and spin that top again. And I think it's that understanding that allows me to free flow through life and not be stressed and worried and caught up in this ball of anxiety of trying to get everything right, trying to get everything perfectly balanced. I have a great marriage. I have a great business. I have great kids. I have a great body. I'm very happy with every area of my life, because as each area requires attention, I give it to it. And sometimes I move to the other side and back and forth. So there's this constant ebb and flow. There is no perfect balance. Like I'll go 2 or 3 weeks where I'm working out super hard and consistently, and then I drop the ball for a few days for a client account. And then I come back and I get back into it. I meditate for a week, all right, or 2 weeks, and then I drop the ball, right? Or I say, you know what? Forget being intense. Let me be consistent. Here's my bare minimums that I'm going to hit every single day, because I know this is a pillar to my life. So I put consistency into play. Like, everything is this compromise. So I'm always moving, and it's in that movement that I find enjoyment and fulfillment. Not in perfectly balancing a thing, but always seeking to move and to catch the ball that's falling next. And I'm okay, because I know that life is about compromise, that we live in this messy middle called human life, where the context and the nuance and the contrast and comparison between things is always moving, never fixed, right? And I think when we accept that, we become far more effective, far more connected to the reality of what's actually happening, and not what we desire, right? When we put our head in the sands and think that the perfect optimization of a thing is going to save us, when really it's just fear. It's fear. We're hiding behind the idea of a perfect balance. We're hiding beyond the idea of once the plan is perfect, we'll move. We're hiding. It's fear. It's fear of being in a compromised position because something isn't perfect, because we don't believe that we can handle the balls in the air or the oil and water separating on us. The oil and water separated. The top is wobbling. It looks bad. Yeah, spin it again. Shake it up again. Keep it moving. And I'm not saying do shoddy work or do less than your best. What I am saying is that fighting for optimization and perfect calibration and synergy is just fear disguised. It's fear disguised. So I want to encourage you to embrace this story. Look at your life through a different lens. Right? Through a different lens. Everything is a compromise. And because you're always having to make compromises and shift and change and balance, and you can't systemize and optimize everything, that's okay. That is not a judgment on who you are as an individual or your capacity or anything else. That is the place that we live, the place that human life takes place. For lack of a better term, that's where human life takes place. And I believe that those who are most successful, happy, fulfilled, human embrace this idea and they enjoy not the act of pulling everything together, but the act of continually fighting to find the most balanced position of all these compromising parts. And that's the joy. That's the beauty. And if you can allow yourself to immerse yourself in that idea and to understand it and to begin to love it, now all this variety and complexity and nuance and context and all these things that you can't control become part of the game of life that you play. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know how it's going to unfold, but I do know, or at least I have confidence in the fact that I'll figure it out. I'll shake the bottle up, I'll spin the top, and we'll keep it moving. So what do you think? Compromise? Understand it? Accept it? Move on? Spin the bottle? Shake it up? That's a story worth looking into. I'm out. Hey fam, thanks again for joining me in the yellow chair. I want to invite you to go even deeper, to take this to the next level by pulling out your phone and texting me at 800-425-2095. That's 800-425-2095. That's my direct number. Type in the word yellow chair. And when you text me, you'll be joining my X Factor weekly insider community where I send out resources to help you to continue to storify your life and to lead your story. So don't miss that opportunity. 800-425-2095. Thanks again for joining me here in the yellow chair. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share these podcasts. We're trying to change 100 million people's lives, and you're a part of that. So thank you again, and I see you in the next yellow chair. I'm out.